I am also burning out my clipping up my audio there. Uh, Hello there. It's that time once again. It is Thursday. It's time for Geek Speak. It's the end of the month. That means we are doing this world in the month of the world of marketing. Ugh. Yeah, apparently talking is still I'm still getting used to it. But irrespective of that, my name is Phelan with Seymour Digital Media.
And I'm Greg with Original 72 Creative.
Awesome. And so we have more than, when I saw it all laid out, I was like, oh, that's actually quite a bit of news that's happened this month, and pretty
Yeah,
much every facet.
yeah.
So I guess let's start off with the quicker ones, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's just sort of, yeah, the SEO stuff. So there's obviously a big algorithm update that's just finished, which was the March one. Was a big update. There was a lot of testing. People thought that like their canonical tags weren't working, which is interesting. But apparently that was just a people were misreading their own internal reports or something. It's kind of a weird one that people were reporting on, but it looks like that it's again one that where they're focusing on AI and finding, in this core update, they also said that they're not going to be able to do full detection of AI as it's kind of it's too ubiquitous now. It's too intermixed that basically they're just if you're doing 100%, they can't figure it out at all. Then yeah, or they can figure it out like just easily a quick look. Then I think they said that they would ban it, but partial usage is just it's past the point of detection, so they can't do anything about it.
So you're saying they can somewhat detect if it's all AI, but if you used AI like for like bits and pieces, they can't tell.
Yeah, it's too inner. Like if it's like basically if you just like went up to ChatGPT and said make me a website with all the copy and all the images and it just spat it out, like that wouldn't
Yeah,
rank. But if it's
right.
got like a reasonable percentage where there's gray area, they said that they're not going to be as punitive as they used to be because it's too hard and there's too many websites now they're
Because I
using it.
thought this recent algorithm update was very much on the direction of making sure they do detect and derank AI related sites that they know are doing that. So are they have they said they're going to shift and not really worry about it as much or
Yeah, my understanding is that they still want they're less stressed about whether you used AI and more concerned with still the quality, right? Of
right?
like if it's saying just like insane things and like there's no citations, there's no outlet, like if it looks, if you come to the website and it looks like a regular website and it reads like a regular website and you did use some AI to write some of the content, they're not going to fault you for that. It's basically, they can't, the genie's out of the bottle. And so right now, I think they're
Yeah,
more just adapting to the new world like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and rightly so. Like, it's a tool to help us, do our daily
Yeah.
tasks, right? And writing is a big thing. If you could get a jump start on writing something and then edit it to your own words or revise it or whatever, they
Yeah.
shouldn't mark that as content that is irrelevant and not rank your site because you are producing something that is relevant, obviously, for your business, but you had help in getting that information started, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, yeah, as long as you're using the tool correctly and you're not just trying to like spam affiliate links, then I
Mm-hmm.
think that I think that's a reasonable standpoint to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. And then I guess the other one that I noticed out in the wild was that Search Console has new filters. So these are useful for any e-commerce people. So they have new filters for how your shopping listings are showing up, and you can kind of like analyze those ones as well. Because it used to
Mm-hmm.
be like you could do it from the query or the page, but now it's also going to be your products and your listings to kind of see them over time. So I think that's super helpful for e-commerce people to just get more insight in how Google's seeing their e-commerce SEO.
Yeah, yeah. And it looks like you have also for SEO something about self-hosted videos showing up in results now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's they put out a new, so there's an update to the video schema, and as part of the core update, they're also testing ranking. Like when you type in like how to make banana bread, and it has like a bunch of YouTube videos.
Hmm.
Well, now you could get in that carousel, and but there's like specifics. One of the ones I know is it's got to be like its own self-hosted page. Otherwise, they're just going to rank YouTube if you put a YouTube link on that page.
Hmm.
So I don't know necessarily the value. It's just sort of interesting that they're starting to test this. Personally, I would still be using YouTube because even if you're trying to rank your own channel, it's going to be cheaper than you hosting video because that's going to be expensive and difficult to do. Um, and then also we've got kind of switching between the SEO and the social media is going to be that Meta has a new AI bot that they're in, and it's integrating with Bing and Google search results, which is kind of interesting because Google, or I mean, famously, or infamously, the Facebook and Google didn't really get along and
Hmm.
saw each other's competition. So it's interesting that they would be. I wonder how they like enable that part as well. If Google's like affirmatively allowing it, or if it's like they're just tapping into an API and
So is this the same as what they're calling Llama 3? Is,
well, yeah. Speaking and then going off on that one.
I
So
don't mean to shift. I'm not fully up to Meta's integrations with Google and Bing, but I know they also had Llama 3, and I don't didn't know if it was all the same thing or if they're separate items.
yeah, so my understanding, like Llama is the algorithm, and then the interface that we're talking about is like a AI assistant, like how you talk to your Chat GPT.
Yeah,
So what they're doing, the Llama is like a big breakthrough on the algorithm side of how to process data and give information back, and then
gotcha.
but yeah, the chatbot that we're talking about is like uses Llama to get information. So it's more just like how their interface uses data and where it derives that information from. I think is kind of the big one that they're wanting to mention.
Hmm.
Also with Facebook, because I remember we were talking about this that you're saying that you're noticing more and more AI content
Hmm.
visible on the platform, and so yeah, and it's because that Meta has relaxed AI rules around AI content generated, similar to Google, right? The kind of the horse has left the barn kind of situation that they're not going to be able to undo it. They can't just put a ban, and so now they're kind of trying to find that compromise in the middle ground where they're going to allow some of it, but not, you know,
Well, I
uh,
would suppose if you're integrating AI into your own platform, you can't limit the use of AI to go onto your platform.
yeah, 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 those two things. It would be kind of weird and contradictory.
Yeah,
Like them to be like have a little tool that's AI powered and then them not allowing it on the platform.
yeah,
Um, and so I think that one's going to be interesting to see where that kind of goes. Well, I know that like the image generation you were noting has gotten better of recent note. I mean, it still does some weird things where you ask for it to like take out the chopsticks and it adds more chopsticks kind of to the image, but there's still. I mean, it is getting better with doing some drawings. It's still it
yeah.
can almost spell.
I, I really wish I had more time to play around with all of this stuff. I just don't have the time to, test it all and play with it and have some fun between, all of the work that I have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think
I mean, it all sounds fun. I should actually look a little bit closer at Facebook and what they've got going on for the AI now, just to see what they're doing.
yeah. For my own sake, I find the only part that's annoying is like all of these. companies having their own like competing like chatbot widgets that like I'd have to go try them and see if I like it. And you have to like get like it's a lot of for me it's a lot of lead up time because I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna use ChatGPT because I've already like done most of my work with it. So like, why would I go to a new one that's I'm gonna have to like train it in how I want responses and figure out how it gives me responses. So I find
Yeah.
it a little bit annoying that like everyone's it's like everyone having their own streaming platform. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I just kind of want one. I know it's that would also be bad is to just have one.
Yeah,
Uh,
the comparison that's coming to my mind right now is that these are the AI wars like we had for browser wars when the web first started
yeah,
becoming super popular, and building websites for me in the early 2000s, you needed to build put in code differently for each of the browsers so that websites displayed properly, and like because all of these browsers were fighting for to add functionality, and nobody did it consistently with the HTML CSS standards following any of those web standards early days. And I feel like AI is similarly going through a war between everybody who's trying to do AI related stuff and put out these tools, and which one do you use? What talks to what?
yeah.
It just reminds me of those early days of browser wars.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the vibe or the lamp stack wars, right? When there was like Drupal, WordPress, and then who's going to come out on top? Same for was it the jQuery? Like, because jQuery had like a bunch of competition when it first came out, and then they just wound
Yeah,
up winning. Because it kind of like
yeah,
splits out. Everyone kind of finds one, and then that one just kind of takes over, and it has market dominance that just the
yeah.
others
Why can't
follow.
we just all get along at the beginning?
Well, yeah. I mean, and of course, the person selling shovels in this gold rush is, of course, Nvidia, who's making like an absolute killing selling all of these GPUs to everyone to process all this stuff. They've
Yeah,
they're
Nvidia
making
stock has been doing well for a couple of years now.
yeah, yeah. They're doing okay. Like chip manufacturing is definitely the way to go if you can do it. It's uh, and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does end up if there's consolidation because I mean they all have big backings that uh, ChatGPT is backed by Microsoft, and so then you still have like Google, Meta having their own.
Mhm.
Amazon has their own, but it's like internal because theirs is all about like robots, right? Like they want to do a lot of. Though funny enough, did you? I didn't put this in the notes, but did you hear what happened with the Amazon uh, Go store? Like that store that you could like go in and like just take something and there's no till.
Oh
And
no, I didn't hear anything about.
they
What's
quietly shelved the entire project because it turns out, while they may not have been hiring people in the states to work the stores, they had thousands of people in India going through the video footage and attributing like there was no AI. It was just a guy. It's basically a mechanical Turk. Like it looked like a bunch of fancy parts, but it was just a bunch of people somewhere else doing all the work.
Hmm.
And so once they had to admit that part, the project kind of collapsed on itself. And so uh, so yeah, the great replacement of us by AI bots. I don't think we have to worry about just the second.
Um, moving on from Meta's AI stuff, and the popularity or rise of their large language model, that I heard um, OpenAI did release some new um, features in the past week, I believe, to corporate customers. I
Hmm.
wish I took a look at the actual article, but I did see something about how because Facebook or Meta's stuff was gaining popularity, um, they did release some new things within OpenAI's offerings.
Ah, okay. All right. I hadn't seen anything when I'd logged in, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the last bit that they if they had done something like that. Uh, yeah, it makes sense. Uh, oh,
I'm just looking to see, do we have any other AI stuff? I don't think we do, but
I know the AI stuff.
maybe.
I mean, yeah, it's the Gemini also got released on the workspace as well. Like I think outside of the U.S. because now I can use it on my
Hmm.
own workspace. It's rather expensive, so I'm like because they charge you per user, and I'm just like, no, I'm not paying that much if it's gonna.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, it's part of
Yeah,
your
because
works
Workspace is it's a per user
model.
platform. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was like $30 per head, which I have six
per
people
month.
in mind. Yeah, per month. So I was like, that's a, that's a lot of money to go out the door for that. So
Yeah,
um, I was not very I was not chomping at the bit because they kept saying like, oh, get a free trial, and every time I tried to do the trial, they're just like, hey, put in your credit card details, and I was like, that's not how a trial works. You need to like let me know that it's going to be a trial period, and so
hmm
yeah, it was yeah, not my favorite there. But on the note of Google products, we also have the YouTube's now opening up like an affiliate hub. So I guess it's like a marketplace for people that want to, it's you want to promote a product and get paid affiliate. It's just a good way for just do a marketplace for people that people who want to do affiliates and people who have affiliate links. I think it's a good matchup and it makes a lot of sense for YouTube, honestly.
hmm hmm
Uh,
Yeah,
and
I can
then
see a lot of people using Affiliate Hub to try to promote and get exposure on other people's popularity and just refreshing content or trying to sell things on other people's videos.
yeah,
Well, they
I think
and
yeah, I would say I think it's a good one as well for like small channels that are just getting started and wouldn't necessarily be able to do like an affiliate link like right off the get go. But it's a good way to kind of pair the two together. That if you do need some, it's a good way to make some extra money, especially if your message of your channel lines up with the product that you're doing the affiliate link for. Then I think that's a good combination there. So I guess also we got to talk about the a bit of the elephant in the room for social media, which is that the U.S. has signed uh, the TikTok ban was signed into law yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So it's I mean it's already going to be challenged in the courts. Like it's I don't think it, and they've also the sale doesn't have they changed it from 90 days to 360 days. So
the year.
yeah, so it's going to be a year from now, which is going to be after the elections and all that stuff. So uh, it won't be like I think they're just trying to kick the can down the road to make it not a live issue. Um, and so I think that it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. It's hard to say one way or the other because there's not really a isn't really like a background you can map this to. Like it's a bit unprecedented to have like a company like this to go through a situation like this. So I'm interested to see how it's going to shake out in the end.
Yeah, I mean they've said they're gonna fight it, and the CEO himself posted a TikTok, or maybe he posted a TikTok saying they were gonna fight it, and I had read somewhere else something about if they were forced to, they were gonna sell it, but without the algorithm, which they feel is what makes TikTok
Yeah,
besides the data. Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting over the next year to see how that goes. Personally, I've been thinking about it in like we have so much social media out there. I know TikTok. because of its algorithm, is a fun place to be and see
Hmm.
stuff. But I'm not going to miss TikTok if it goes away. I'll just put it that way
Yeah,
because there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's um,
YouTube was YouTube
YouTube.
Shorts.
Like there's no shortage of places to for creators to put their videos and for people to follow them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'd agree
so
that it's not. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, just so like to wrap up my thought is just like so that's the reason why if for some reason TikTok was sold or went away, like I really don't think I'm gonna miss it. Although there are tons of people who do make a good living with the followers that they've gained on that platform. So it's gonna hurt a lot of people who have that on the platform. But for
Hmm.
me personally, I don't use it for anything other than just scrolling when I'm not working.
Yeah,
And I'll just do that on Instagram. So or
yeah, yeah. I think um, it it'll be interesting because I just saw a poll this morning of like 18 to 24-year olds. Majority of their news comes from TikTok, so it's interesting to see how that will shake out with them. Uh, I don't have any. Um, yeah, like you said, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but I'm happy for them to go to the courts and fight it out, as duke it out with them, because I think this is a bit unprecedented to have like a company get banned. Um, like, yeah, just thinking of like the mechanics of how you would actually do that. It's kind of, I'm just like, would you like IP block them, or like how would you like, um, yeah. So just it's
on still on TikTok, they also did release a feature. I don't know if it's worldwide release or just to some people, but you can do text-based posts now,
hmm,
which is kind of interesting. Um,
yeah. I'd say they're trying to take over that Twitter market.
yeah, I don't
Uh,
know if Twitter, maybe some Twitter. I was thinking of it more from like an Instagram and text
oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah,
sort
yeah. I see what
of
you're.
thing, but yeah, I don't know. I just know that this was something that was I had seen recently that they're now rolling out a text-based post option on the platform. What it is exactly, I don't know if it accompanies video or imagery at all, or if it is strictly just text.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to
If
I
it
have to take a look.
Yeah, if it's strictly text, then yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you said Instagram, yeah, I realized, yeah, it's not the Twitter. It's much more the Instagram post of, text on screen kind of situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how they integrate that, because it's not really one I associate really with like text based reading.
Well,
Um,
they've always been just video based,
yeah.
and that's always been their bread and butter. So introducing the text, I don't know what their thinking there was. Were people just wanting to be able to, because everybody was on this platform, be able to just like spit something out in text and be able to post it on their platform?
Mm.
Um, who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to say, and also that they do still take stuff from the parent company, the Chinese ByteDance. They
Hmm.
do like some of the stuff, like the e-commerce one was really popular with TikTok in China before it was ever even integrated here. And so I think that there's other there's some aspects of like it having its own parent company that maybe they had a lot of success, so they've tested it out and figured out a way to implement, because you can collect a lot of data from like a billion people using an app in China, and then try to retrofit some of that stuff for TikTok over here.
Yeah, I think we're done with social and AI. Maybe we just jump back onto search because we didn't mention about Google's shift from conversions to key events. And I know you probably have maybe a couple things to mention about that.
Yes, it's very annoying, and I wish they had telegraphed it. um, no, it's just part of my
This
larger.
isn't just a wording change, though.
Yeah, yeah.
There's more behind this, right?
As far as I can tell, no.
Oh,
Because yeah, because basically conversions were just like it has like a special. It's an event that has a special attribute saying, "Is this a conversion true?" And then because if you have those, then what it does is it enables you to do conversion paths. So it's like, oh, this person before they converted, they like saw a Facebook post, then they went to my website, then they saw like my Google ad, and then they converted through. So really, that's the core reason why you want to have these set up and why it matters compared to. And I get like it is a bit of a naming convention. It's just part of my larger grievance with Google is that they do a lot of changes to the platform, but they don't really do a good job at telegraphing or letting people
right.
know.
And I
Um,
remember you saying irrelevant stuff they like will post
oh,
and
their new
not
login
share
screen. They like
information about,
yeah, they
but
like let me know that the login screen's changing, and then it was like just a matter of like two buttons were next to each other. Nothing really else was on the page. It was barely like worth of time to like rewrite that code.
yeah.
There's moments like that where I'm just wondering, is this the best use of your resources as a company when I can.
I was helping a customer yesterday with a bunch of their Google services, and both of us, by the end of our conversations and in dealing with this, were saying, we really hate Google. They make things
Yeah.
so hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that they've just made worse, and they just didn't like the improvements that they thought they made were not there. Like redoing the Google Ads platform. So it's like this uncanny valley where it's similar to how the old one was, but everything's a little bit off. So you're like, how do I find where to do the policy manager? And then you're
Hmm.
looking like a fool in front of your client when you're like, oh, I'm trying to click around to find something, and it's like, I swear I know how to do this, but they've just changed the platform on me. Um, yeah, so that part could be annoying.
Yeah. Well, on to web stuff. We got
Yes.
2 minutes to get through our web stuff. No,
Oh
no
yeah,
problem.
we
Nothing
yeah.
major. WordPress 6.5 was released. I didn't see anything major with anybody upgrading.
Mm-hmm.
However, either in a subsequent release after, they're at 6.5.2 because there was a XSS vulnerability that was discovered and patched. And I know you mentioned, I didn't hear about this one, but one of the more popular page builders, Beaver Builder,
Mm-hmm.
apparently had one as well that you had seen.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the news on like having two of those. I mean, they're coming out all the time. I mean, security, web security is always like a constant game of cat and mouse where you're trying to find every little vulnerability, and um, yeah, these things happen, and that's why it's good that the big ones get these because they can fix it. They have the resources to go and fix these issues and fix them relatively quickly. So just make sure you keep your stuff up to date, folks. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah,
And to
and then
finish off web stuff, there were two acquisitions or purchases by WordPress of some interesting companies. One is a messaging app called Beeper, and the other one is an all-in-one messaging app called Texts.com. So yeah, speculation on what WordPress has behind those acquisitions and what that could mean for something coming to WordPress. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it could be interesting with those two acquisitions. What potentially might be coming to WordPress soon.
yeah, my gut's telling me that it's probably SMS and multi-channel messaging for especially WooCommerce. It'd probably be my guess.
Yeah,
because like that's the one that makes sense of like I personally don't like it, but I know that it's very popular in the States to have texting for like updates about like you
Where
know
your package is, or
yeah
your product, your order's been processed, or like,
yeah
yeah, kind of
and
stuff.
then later on like you do text messages of like, hey, this Mother's Day, don't forget to get a blah blah blah, click here, and then it like takes them to the website. I don't like that functionality personally, but you know that other people do, and uh,
I don't mind it for certain things, because a te- I find a text much less annoying than an email.
and yeah,
So
I'm more of the opposite, so it's just more it's personal preference, really. That's what it
yeah,
boils down
yeah.
to. And so, but yeah, I think that yeah, I think we're both at the same conclusion that it's got to be WooCommerce SMS functionality, uh, and it makes sense that they would be acquiring it because
Marketing related stuff to add. And the chat stuff, maybe they'll try to incorporate their own chat into WordPress, as opposed to having to use some like to have the, would you like to talk
yeah,
to someone,
yeah,
at our
yeah,
company now, kind of thing. Have a feature like that directly built in with WordPress.
yeah, yeah. I think that that's definitely very conceivable in the future. Um, but I guess with all that being said, we are out of time. Uh, And if you have any other news or anything, feel free to post in the comments. We're happy to respond. You could join us over at Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer, where we continue this conversation. And we'll also have a Geek Speak next week. Do you know the top?
Yeah, it looks like Pip and Rena are going to be back, and they're going to be chatting about Instagram and Facebook strategies for 2024.
Awesome. That sounds good. We'll be glad to have the ladies come back.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure, everybody's sick of us by now.
yeah, especially me. Um,
Yeah, I guess
it,
I haven't been on any extra, but
Yeah, I've been the majority of them, and so yeah. But
you,
yeah, all that being said, my name's Phelan.
and I'm Greg. Thanks for joining us.